What's up, yeah, Joe? I really appreciate the coffee, guys. If you guys want to keep me caffeinated so I can wake up and make these videos, there's a wish list in my description. Please feel free to treat me to a coffee. I'd be more than happy. That's for sure. It does help massively, and it's also deeply appreciated. You know, since I started editing, I mainly started with I remember I had an Apple iMac. That was like a crazy little little dome thing. They had like the screen attached to it. You know, I remember I got that thing, and you know, obviously at the moment I didn't understand anything about computers. So when I got that, I thought it was like the top of the line shit and this and that, and maybe it was at the time, but yeah, I remember I got it and I was pretty happy with it. And I started using iMovie to put together little clips here and there. You know, had no idea how things worked whatsoever. Had no idea how visuals worked whatsoever. And it's amazing to know how it feels looking back on opening up editing software for the first time and being like, what the fuck is all this? Learning to drop in the footage into the clip, and then learning to make cuts, and then adding stuff on top of it. And you know, it's kind of fun to think about actually, how much I've changed over the time, man. Up to this point where I'm at now, creating content for thousands of people to watch all over the world, to now me making content for my channel where other people have reached out to me and maintain some form of social interaction with me and stuff like that, to me being in Taiwan and people give me advice through my videos of where to go to get groceries, or need tourist environments to check out and shit like that. It's amazing. It really is. It's amazing how much things have changed for me. Probably the main thing that I've experienced as I do my content, and also working for PAW over the years, definitely over 10 years since I started doing this type of work, is that for me at least, the main thing that I noticed about myself that I changed the most is simply figuring out ways to simplify the process of delivery. There definitely is a practice and a experience and a development that you start to realize what works for you, in the sense of a concept of what kind of content you want to create for yourself and for the audience, to how you film it, how I'm doing at the moment, then the process, how you edit it, and then how you deliver it, right? Meaning the thumbnail, the title, and how you want to share it through your social media and stuff like that. So there's almost this streamline, these steps you start to figure out. So it becomes this assembly line, right? Thought, production, post-production, delivery, distribution, right? And then the idea phase. What kind of content should I make? What's worth my time? What do I feel like making? Because yeah, that's another thing you kind of have to learn, is what kind of content do you want to make to begin with? Because if you're doing something you're not happy with, it can be a fucking struggle, right? So that's one. The production phase, what I'm doing, how am I gonna film this? How can I simplify it? At least for me, I already got everything set up in my room where I have 2 lights. I got some lights in the background. I got my artwork. I got my mic here. I got the camera already set up. So everything's set up in a manner where it's easier for me to produce this video than create it, right? And then in post-production, I have certain software and techniques where I figured out ways to get it done faster, right? I have software that cuts out the silent gaps for me. So it does that for me so I can save time. I invest money into that. I have software, that works very well with my computer, right? And then there's other little subcategories you start to think about, the software that you need, that you'd like to use, the hardware you're using, your computer, right? What is it that's most important? Whether it's a high core count or a high GPU, fast memory, fast RAM, whatever, storage devices. There's all those little things you start to learn as you start creating content, right? And then with the delivery, at least for me, I learned is that for me, it kind of helps to divide the week up. Each day has its own topic of video. I have a calendar from, my Google Calendar, in front of me actually, and I can see what days are blank in the sense of videos, and depending on that day, say for this video, this is a talking head video. For the most part, I like to post these videos on Tuesdays. So if there's a Tuesday of the week that's coming, then I can make this video, produce it, schedule it, and title it however I need to title the thing, and then add a good thumbnail, whatever. And there you go. Also, even with the thumbnails, right? Recently, I started to use AI to create my thumbnails, right? Again, it's things that you start to develop as you start to create this content, right? And I was gonna say that, I learned to simplify things, but the more I talk about this, how I do things, yeah, it's simple because I figured out a rhythm that works for me. any structure that works for me, right? But still, it did take time and effort to me to get to this point to realize, okay, what works for me, what I don't, what doesn't, what I like to do, what I don't, things I can do without, and so on and so forth. I guess something that may be controversial for some people is that, for me personally, I don't like to use B-roll in my footage. You know, for example, you know, I got like this, like a window here in my OBS that I can activate whenever I want, and then like, you know, I could just show you what I'm talking about here, right? So this like B-roll, whatever, instead of overlaying it inside of like in DaVinci or whatever, I just add it into OBS, right? I have that set up, so it just saves me time, right? So, you know, instead of like me adding this in post, I can just skip that step and then just, you know, I had it here in OBS doing a screen capture on one of my monitors here, and then like, you know, I just like cut out the silence and there you go. So I guess like to end the video, I mean, it's not like that you don't care, but yeah, it is almost like if I was a content creator and, you know, you want to get like that fancy look in the sense of like all the images and the titles and this and that, to do all that by yourself, it can be very stressful. With what I do, you know, I can literally film right now, I can stop, run through the process of my software and get this done really quick, right? But because I already have everything set up and I create this video in a manner that I'm able to do that, right? If I wanted to get all fancy, add like the visuals, get the titles, and, you know, if I can type out each word that I say, this and that, then obviously that requires more time that I don't have or I'm not willing to do, right? So if you want to expand in that sense, then that's when you kind of need some help. Or your videos is gonna have to take more time to create, which I don't want to do. I like creating content the way I do, schedule it almost daily, this and that. So yeah, again, it all comes with practice, and that's how you can develop your style as you create your content, right? So I don't know, got nothing else to say. Yeah, I'm always encourage you guys to just get started, because once you get started, then like you start learning this stuff, and then like next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, it's been 10 fucking years, and like here's my style of editing or my way of doing it, and you're cool with it, you know, I'm happy with it. Anyways, I got nothing else to say. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. Talk to you guys later. Peace.